Good evening, everyone. I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Today, I want you to take through the evolution of ready mix concrete in India because I believe understanding where we have come from is essential to understand where we need to go, especially when we talk about balancing carbon, cost, and compliances. So, let me start with the reality check. Look at this table. In the US, RMC penetration is around 80 to 85%. In Europe, it is ranging to 70 to 80%. And Singapore is up to 90%. India is second largest cement producer in the world. We consume over 400 million ton of cement annually. Still, our majority of concrete mixed by hand at site with inconsistent ratios, unreliable aggregates, and no traceability most of the time. So, this is not a technology gap, it is a quality gap, a compliance gap, and increasingly a carbon gap. So, how did we get here? Let me take you through India's RMC journey in three phases. So, these are three phases that I'm going to talk about. That first phase is about introduction. Global players like Lafarge and RMC Readymix entered India. Mega projects like the Golden Quadrennial Highway Network and early metro rail phases gave RMC its first serious platform. But penetration stayed under 5%. RMC was seen as a premium under urban solution only. So next phase was phase two between 2010 to 20. The second phase was about acceleration. The government launched smart developer phase real accountability. Government launched city mission housing for all, and most probably RERA was enacted in 2016 for the first time. Developer faced real accountability for delays and quality defects. Domestic cement majors entered the RMC space, and the IS 4926 standard gained the traction. Penetration climbed to about 12 to 15%. Then comes the phase three. The third phase, where we are now, is about transformation. The India RMC market was valued around $78 billion in 2024, and it is projected to reach around 138 billion by 2030 at a CAGR of nearly 10%. We are seeing new age entrants with integrated cement to concrete model. Specialized concrete is no longer a niche; it is a growing segment. So, what exactly triggered this shift from phase two to phase three? What changed the game? So these are the four things fundamentally changed the game. First was RERA. So developers are now liable for structural defects for 5 years after possession. So when you face this kind of accountability, you cannot afford the variability that site mixed concrete introduces. IMC gives you traceability, consistency, and documentation. Next is urbanization. Second skill, the 2025 union budget allocated around 11 lakh crore for infrastructure. Cities are growing vertically and horizontally at a speed that demands industrialized concrete solution. Third is price to performance shift. The third is the I believe this is the mind shift. Procurement teams are moving from the cheapest per cubic meter price to total cost of construction because a 24-hour delay in a pour can cost several crores now. Against that, the marginal premium of organized RMC is irrelevant. Now, the last phase is specialization of demand. Data centers want temperature controlled concrete. Luxury developer now want self compacted concrete for heavily reinforced zone. Metro projects needs fiber reinforced solution. So we are getting tailor-made solution and demand as well. But perhaps the biggest game changer is sustainability. So let me address that directly. This is the slide I feel most strongly about cement and concrete production accounts for roughly 8% of global CO2 emission. In India, the cement sector alone contributes to nearly 7% of our national greenhouse gas emission. But here is the good news. RMC is actually part of the solution because we optimize mix design in a controlled plant environment. RMC reduces carbon footprint by 30 to 40% compared to site mix concrete. So we have less wastage, better ratios, and the ability to incorporate supplementary cementitious material like fly ash and GGBS. So if we talk about on our company at Banga Concrete, we have taken this further. We pioneered India's first solar-powered RMC plant at Jaipur. We are achieving almost 100% renewable energy replacement. This is a 55 ton of CO2 avoid annually at just one plant. Our parent company, Shree Cement, holds the world's highest share of green power in cement manufacturing, that is around 80%. Sustainability in RMC is not a future promise. For us, it is an operating standard today. So now let me put some numbers around this opportunity. The commercial RMC industry in India is approximately 57,000 crore in size, with an estimated EBITDA of rupees 20 to 50 crore. The expected growth rate is around 15% per annum. But here is the structural insight. From total cement demand, 65% goes into concrete. Of that, only about 30% goes into RMC. And commercial RMC plants account for just 10% of total cement demand. The rest is site mix. So the headroom for us is enormous. So now what the next decades look like for RMC industry? So four forces that we think will shape the future of RMC business. First is digitization, AI-driven mix optimization, IoT fleet tracking, SCADA-based batching, GPS logistics. Some of them are already now people are using the that we call the plant of tomorrow. Vertical integration, that companies that control both the cement input and the concrete output will dominate, as Shree Cement also entered in this business. And integrated supply chains reduce raw material risk, ensure batch consistency, and offer a fresh cement cycle of 3 to 5 days from production to consumption. Because once the cement is produced, it directly reaches to the RMC plant, and within 2 to 3 days, it gets used. So we are reducing the overall product's life cycle. And when we talk about compliance, so as RERA enforced, Titan's IS codes become stricter, and green building certification like GRIHA and LEED become mainstream. The shift from site mix to organized RMC will accelerate. So India's RMC penetration could realistically cross 35 to 40% by 2035. The question is not if, but how fast and whether the growth will be quality led or volume led. So let me close with one thought. So India's concrete story is being written. The question is no longer whether RMC will replace site mix. The question is how fast and who will lead the transformation responsibly, balancing carbon, cost, and compliance. At Bangalore Concrete, we believe the answer lies in predictability, not price, in engineering, not guesswork, and in building smart. Thank you.